Eric Guinazzo. I'm the Vice President of North America for Philips Speech Processing Solutions.
And Mike Stinebiser. I'm Product Innovation and Strategy Lead in Healthcare. I've been here at Philips for a couple of years, and then Eric and I combined have probably been in the speech business for 30 years.
Philips has been a trusted partner in the healthcare industry for quite a long time, actually. So people are already using our technology for speech recognition. They're using our audio devices for speech recognition. We've got thousands of doctors already using our SpeechLive software. So this was kind of just the next evolution, right? It only made sense that we now add the AI component to our own technology that doctors already use.
A lot of the earlier iterations of AI assistants and AI scribes were based on generative AI. Generative AI is great for producing content, not so much for a clinical document. So what differentiates us is we use large language models that are specific to medical. That enables us to understand at a deeper level what's going on and what's being communicated between the doctor and the patients.
I think it's better patient care, right? The clinician has the opportunity to actually look the patient in the eye, spend time with the patient. They're not looking at their computer. I'll give you an example. My wife's a nurse practitioner and she works in primary care, and she usually has like 15 minutes or 30-minute appointments, and she gets zero time in between each meeting with her patients. So she doesn't have the opportunity to do the notes. So typically she'd be at home on the couch with the computer doing notes, should be 20 or 50 notes behind, always stressed over it, bring that home with her. And now that she's using SpeechLive Health, the note's done before she even gets to the next patient. So she has that quality time to spend with the family at home. And then she's actually able to focus on the patient while she's with the patient. She's still using the computer a little bit. She's got her laptop out and she's doing messages or, putting in orders. But all that extra stress of getting those notes done is just, it's all taken care of, sir. It's pretty powerful.
Just to elaborate on that a bit, for years, 10 years, doctors have felt like they were delivering care to the computer because they were looking at the computer the whole time when they were really should be focused on the patient. And that's kind of bled over to patients as well. They feel very uncomfortable. Doctor doesn't look at them, doesn't engage them. So this really brings it back to the human level and enables doctors and patients to have interactions that are more human and just more collaborative on their health. Transcription is something we've done for years. Dictation and transcription is a very traditional method of capturing what a doctor's thinking after the visit. We've moved upstream now. Before the doctor even sees the patient, we can grab that context of what's going on with that patient. It's more collaborative. And then during the visit, the doctor can focus on the patient. So it's before, it's during, and then after, the doctor is really just reviewing the note rather than having to create the note from ground zero.
We have these medical grade large language models, but beyond that, we're really focused on the medical fact or the clinical facts of the actual conversation. So for example, if we tried to record this conversation with our healthcare AI, it would just say, I'm sorry, but there was no relevant medical clinical documentation to be created because we're not having that kind of conversation. So our technology doesn't create hallucinations and all this generative AI bloat into the note. It's really focused on the facts, and it presents the facts to the clinician before they actually generate the template so they can make sure everything's accurate, add to it if they need to, and then it creates that clinical documentation that's very specific to the facts.
Just to elaborate, I had a doctor literally say some of the earlier AI assistants. He said, "I'm really tired of babysitting the AI."
Yeah.
And what he meant by that is it was generating so much text and so much content that he wound up having to work overtime just to correct it.
Yeah, they end up spending more time reviewing the resulted note than actually, they would have just creating the note anyway. So by having those clinical facts, they know that it's going to be correct. There's no extra bloat, no extra hallucinations.
Using the large language models, we're able to really understand at a much deeper level what's going on with the patients. So rather than just capturing a lot of the extraneous information. You're really focused in on those clinical facts, as Eric mentioned. But more importantly, you're not getting a lot of, as mentioned previously, bloat. I think that's critically important, and it's able to filter that out. In addition to that, the SpeechMike Ambient, which we're introducing here at the show, is a critical component of capturing the conversation and capturing really high quality audio. We had a lot of conversations with some of the AI scribe companies that one of their challenges that they're now recognizing after they've been out for a little while is that the quality of their audio is not great, and therefore it's impacting their output. So for that reason, we've actually opened this up and enabled all vendors to use our product in the interest of furthering the overall industry.
And then obviously we have very specific templates that the clinicians can use when they're creating the clinical documentation, so that helps structure in the way that they need. Philips is a trusted brand. It's very important for us to have good security of privacy. We take that very serious. We've been around, our software's been around for a very long time. There's no history of any breaches or anything like that. We partner with all the right companies. We use Microsoft as our services and things like that. So, we take it very serious. We'll make sure we're compliant with all international regulations.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it was really the number one factor when we did our initial market research. It was critical that the doctors felt like they could trust what our output was and trust us as a company. And I think that's really an advantage for Philips because we've been around for so long and a trusted brand for so long.
The right hardware goes a long way. So that's a big part of it, right? So the SpeechMike Ambient is kind of the next evolution. So we've developed this SpeechMike years ago that doctors use today to use speech recognition and dictate their clinical documentation. But now for the ambient technology, we have the ability to do both dictation or put in an ambient mode. And we've done tests against mobile phones, against array microphones and laptops, tablets. And what happens with all these other devices, especially in loud environments like this one, or an emergency room, or if you have a low, quiet talking patient, or you're walking around the patient to do the physical and things like that, you're gonna lose the quality of the audio using your typical audio recording device like a mobile phone. And the accuracy ends up being in the 50-60% range. And if the accuracy is bad, the AI has, worse data to work with to create the clinical note. And I think a lot of these AI companies are like, you know what, the speech recognition doesn't have to be that high quality because the AI can figure it out, but it can't. They're finding there's a lot of mistakes in the end result because the speech recognition that it used to create the note wasn't the quality that they wanted. So by having this device, it's going to make a huge difference in the quality of the note. And we are including this for the first year up through 2026. So anyone who gets a license of our SpeechLive Health AI Assistant actually gets the SpeechMike Ambient with it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Just to elaborate on that from a clinical perspective, I had an interview last week with the emergency room doctor, and he's using it for every interaction he has for families with for codes, situations. So he's able to capture all that information when the patient gets delivered to the emergency room. He's using it to interview the EMT. So everything's being captured real time, and he's able to use all of that, not only to create better notes, but to also inform his colleagues, his fellow physicians as to what's going on with the patient and how they're going to treat the patient. Critically important.
I'll go back to my wife, just her experience at work. Like, she loves what she does. She's been in the healthcare industry forever. She's done a variety of different jobs. Primary care, she's fallen in love with it because she loves to spend that time with the patient. And, she started getting really stressed over the whole note-taking and all of that. So having that opportunity to just spend that quality time with the patient and then have that better quality life for herself outside of the job too, I think is huge.
Ultimately, better outcomes for the doctor, better outcomes for the patient, just happier patients and happier doctors. And that's really a testament of what we can do with SpeechLive Health and the ambient device.